What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dawg Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. He's getting beat like he stole something, Mr. Bosley. Shout out to one that we lost, Hayden Panettiere. Very, very sad news. But you know what? One of the greatest football movies of all time. So if you're feeling a little nostalgic after the news, go check out some great content and remember the Titans. My man, Evo. We got a lot of things to go into. We got a lot of football. It's basically all football. Football season is back. There is one baseball story that we are going to talk about today for all of 90 seconds because it is literally something that has never happened before, and that is a very rare thing in baseball. So we will talk about that quickly, but we're going to get into a lot of football, talk about our teams a lot today. We're talking the Norths, AFC, NFC North. We got news from all over as well. Our teams have played preseason games. Football's back, baby. Evo, welcome in, brother.
How's it going, man? I'm happy to be here. Happy for all the love and support that we've been getting and are going to continue to receive, especially after today's show, because everyone loves prediction shows and everyone 100% agrees on those. So that's going to be great. Looking forward to going over everything with preseason week 1. Things are starting to really hit their stride here. Football, like real football, is happening, and regular season is right around the corner. So that is super fun, super exciting. Happy to be here. How have you been, Mike? How is everything going out there, coaching Ohio? Everything on your neck of the woods?
Man, things are going well. They're very, very busy. We had practice tonight. We've got game 1 coming this week against a very well-respected opponent in Steubenville. They're looking like they could be the top of the Division III schools here in Ohio. We're Division II, but it's gonna be a tough matchup. That has been great. Getting a lot of things in this week. Busy, man. Coaching, working on getting this documentary out, coming on the 3rd. Still looking for jobs, waiting to hear back on something hopefully really cool. But all in all, just grinding away, man. I've been watching so much tape, so much football. Going back, watching some preseason games, and also watching, Steubenville tape, getting ready for Friday. I have been so locked in on watching football that I don't know that I have capacity for much of anything else right now. Like it is just consuming my life in a way that even beyond years past. And I love it right now.
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, as much football as you can get in your life, I think is a good thing.
It's been great for me so far. What up, Dave and those guys over at Great North Sports? Appreciate you. Dave actually has some stuff out right now, fantasy football wise. If you are a big fantasy guy, go and check out Great North Sports. They are high quality dudes, and they give out some really good information in terms of the fantasy stuff. But
yeah, look, I can't recommend it enough, honestly. We are getting into fantasy football season. Leagues are drafting now. A lot of them are trying to hold off until closer to the regular season, just for situations where we do have injuries that pop up, which we are currently seeing right now in the NFL. You're getting your Breece Halls going down with a groin injury because his dick too big. You got Jeremiah Love going down with the injury because that's what all the rookies do there out in Arizona. You have every player on the 49ers injured. These are things that are going to shape your drafts, and the best place to go get information, tips, tricks on how to win your league is check out Great North Sports. Dave there is putting out great content. Him and Dubs do great great work. So go check that shit out. Pause our video if you need to. Open up another tab. Get on the YouTube. Great North Sports.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. And I'm going to prop this comment up here as well. He is in the transfer portal right now. He's Canadian. He does not have a college football team. I've already tried to sell him that the Ohio State University is the fucking only route to go, but I'm sure he's willing to listen to some arguments. And it's tough to come in as an Ohio State guy, like not ever having grown up in that, because everybody hates you. If you're an Ohio State fan, almost everybody just hates you because you're an Ohio State fan. And we kind of relish it. I love it.
Yeah, look, the James Madison Dukes, I didn't see him on there. Well, that would have my vote. No affiliation whatsoever. Like, I'm just out of the blue becoming a James Madison Dukes fan. So
James Madison Dukes fan.
Fucking yep.
Okay.
Don't know why.
Here. It's fine. He can stay in here. Okay. Producer Amber up here. Appreciate her. Brought me some water. I was very thirsty. And the dogs. But let's get into our quick baseball story before we get too busy into the show. Wild things happen in baseball all the time. But baseball has been going on for so long that it is very rare that you get a feat that has never happened before. It's so unbelievable that things are happening for the very first time that a young man it's being called the greatest opener, like debut ever. So gosh, and I just forgot the guys. Joshua
Baez.
And
it's so big that ESPN has nothing about it on their front page, even though it's happened 2 days ago. It's impressive.
Listen, it's baseball. It's August.
So on the MLB landing page for ESPN, they got nothing anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And look, this is because ESPN is one of the most well-run organizations. They get talent and what things that people like, and then they're like, nah, let's fucking fire everybody and just pay a couple people stupid amounts of money. I think ESPN has the best strategy ever. Let's just suck ass at our jobs. It's worked for the U.S. government. It works for major corporations. Let's just suck ass. So sorry to go on a tangent there. I guess I'm a little feisty tonight.
I have to say something real quick. The opinions of Stanford Evo do not reflect the opinions of all people on this show. Every person who makes a statement, it is of their own volition, and that is only for them. Just want to put that little caveat out there real quick. Anyways,
Oops.
It's fucking hilarious. But as we were saying, Joshua Baez has done something that has never happened in baseball history. Baseball doesn't promote very well. Apparently, ESPN could do a better job as well about putting things on their page. But he hit 3 home runs in his first 3 major league at-bats. That's fucking absurd. Hitting a home run in your first at-bat is incredible. Baez decided he was going to take the first pitch he saw in the major leagues deep. Dead nut center, too, pretty much. Then goes up to second at-bat, pokes another one. And he comes up for the last at-bat, and he's had an incredible day. Getting a base hit here, he's going to have one of the greatest debuts of all time as it is. And then the dude goes fucking oppo at Wrigley. And for the third one, and going oppo is obviously hard. And Wrigley is not a small park. So this kid for the Cardinals is going to be, incredible. Drug 100%. Freezing cold takes. There was somebody who had just put up like the day that Baez got called up that 0 for 3, 3 Ks. This kid's a hack or something along those lines. Could not have been more wrong. What a day from Josh Baez.
Yeah, congratulations to the big guy.
Now, let's stop talking about baseball. because I don't think anybody wants to listen to us talk about baseball. I think they're all here to talk about football. We had some interesting things happen this week. Let's talk about the suspension of James Pearce. Falcons fans, this is the part where you get to be pissed off at me. Later on, we'll get some people pissed off at Evo, and we'll just kind of trade off. This James Pearce suspension makes a lot of sense. I don't have a problem with the amount of games that we had kind of, or at least I kind of prognosticated earlier in this process that he should get somewhere around 13 games because Deshaun got 12. And there was no video evidence of Deshaun doing anything, but there was very clear video evidence of James Pearce doing something. So I overshot, but a half a season essentially is a lot of football to miss. That's a lot of game checks, especially for a guy on a rookie deal. Do you feel like this is enough? Should the punishment have been more severe? And what does this do to the Falcons' chances to, compete early on in the season? Are they still going to be able to are they going to compete for this division in a division that's kind of crappy to begin with?
I mean, in the NFC South, anything is technically possible because all the teams do have some pretty severe warts, but this was one of the issues with James Pearce coming out. They talked about maturity issues, potential off the field stuff. Obviously, we got to see it. He got a slap on the wrist when it comes to the actual legal side of things. You talk about, his now ex-girlfriend or fiance or whatever it was, like fearing for her life, him ramming her with a car, all sorts of like stuff that you would normally think would carry pretty heavy legal burden with it. But being a celebrity and being a pro athlete has its privileges apparently. And this kind of shown through there where he really got a slap on the wrist as far as the legal system goes, as far as I'm concerned. I do not condone the domestic violence. A lot of times I like to say like, hey, let's sit back, wait for the legal process to play out and see what happens. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty in general. This was one of those situations where it was pretty damn cut and dry. And he got a slap on the wrist. The 8-game suspension is, when you put it into that scope of things, a slap on the wrist as well. As far as the NFL goes, I think it is equitable to the type of off-field punishment that he got. So it is pretty damn devastating for the Falcons because James Pearce was starting to come on a lot more last year. You need him to play well with how much draft capital you gave up in order to get him there, along with the Jalen Walker. And that's been one of the big knocks on that Falcons team was their pass rush. The Falcons obviously had to pivot and make a move. They got Zadarius Smith, who unretired, to come sign with them today. He had previously been out there in Cleveland, but he couldn't stay away from Stefanski. So Zadarius Smith re-signs with the Falcons today to kind of help them a little bit because their edge rush depth has to be just severely lacking. So yeah, that's my general thoughts is James Pearce should be happy that this is all that's happening to him, both on the field and off the field. It is very tough for Falcons fans. It helps kind of solidify our picks on their positioning in the AFC South a little bit more because they are significantly hampered on the defensive side of the ball. The defensive end is a game changer on the defense. And so him not getting to make that growth step as much as you should be seeing because he's not on the field is definitely going to impact that team.
I agree. Listen, I didn't have a lot of high hopes for the Falcons as it were. Let me go back here, recap what I had for them. I had them finishing at 4-13. So this does not much for me in terms of where I had them to begin with. Falcons fans already hate me. I don't have a problem with them hating me more because I had them at 4-13. But yeah, this is a huge blow. You brought up like there's not enough punishment, like the severity of what we saw and what the punishment really is. Like I remember Ray Rice punched his wife, knocked her out, and he was out of the NFL for forever. James Pearce rammed a car a supercar into another supercar, trying to get at this woman. I don't know how we're calling one less than the other. But you brought up also another good point that this is kind of consistent with the way the NFL does things. Domestic violence can get swept under the rug pretty easily, especially when outside parties decide that they're not going to continue with civil cases or any of those types of things. Like James Pearce got a, like you said, pretty lenient thing going. So for me, it hurts them, but I think their quarterback situation is potentially what the most detrimental thing to this team is going to be. So,
yeah, that's if the preseason week 1 didn't kind of show that, that the Falcons have bigger concerns for sure.
Hey, you know what? Kevin Stefanski's going to do a great job down there with all that fucking talent and all those weapons he's got. I'm sure he's going to figure it out. Anyways,
it'd be good for Bijan, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Bijan's going to be run into the ground is what's going to happen. So get your use out of Bijan this year in fantasy. And Dave, I see you there in the comments. Yes, we would love to join you guys over on Great North Sports at some point, especially for some fantasy stuff. I need some help. It's been a couple years since I won a championship, so bring me back to the promised land, boys. But all right, let's get into some other NFL news from around the world, potentially. Roger Goodell says it is only a matter of time, it appears, before the NFL has a team based in another country. And I actually tend to agree with Roger. I don't think it's a European country, or we're not talking NFL Europe again. But, if we get a Toronto team or something along like Canada, or I don't know if Mexico City is going to be able to host a team that feels like a really big trek out of the way, because Mexico City's not fucking close. I feel like a Canadian team. But it's
not egregiously far.
Ways. No, it's not egregiously far. But you have a lot of border Canadian cities that make that travel much easier, and we have a lot more northern teams than like southwestern teams.
Yeah,
I mean, you have the Cardinals is basically it. Otherwise, that fucking Mexico City team would be traveling forever.
Well, I think you might be a little bit off on the Mexico City part. I think it's more of a security safety issue.
Could be
that, like, Toronto's immediately what came to mind for me as well.
Right.
It's like not that hard because we have had professional sports teams for like the MLB, obviously, like you've got some already established stuff there in Canada, whereas we don't have that bridge with Mexico, and obviously contentious situations when it comes to Mexico right now. So they probably don't want to make a great leap with the first international team, have it be a little bit more of a stepping stone, which the natural path would be a Canadian team. But they need to add 2 teams at a minimum to do this sort of expansion. I would assume 2 or 4 teams, which is pretty monumental. As far as an international team, 100% it's going to happen. I personally don't really like it because of the travel, and not with Canada or Mexico, but the international travel as far as crossing the big pond. Going over to Europe, that it wears on the teams a lot. It is going to be a huge factor for players who are, that's their home team. The way that payment and stuff happens, taxation, all this sort of stuff, it creates a weird conundrum. Obviously, if there's a will, there's a way. It can be figured out. But I personally don't like that for the players' sake. As a fan, like, kind of who gives a fuck? Like, sure, we want more fans in the NFL. Right. You're broadening everything. You're making it an international sport even more than it is now. That's cool. That's great. Grow the brand. More money for the players, more money for the teams and stuff like that. That's all good and great. From a player aspect, I don't like it just because of the wear and tear on the body, the mind, having to do all those transits. As far as the Mexico City thing, like, I didn't know this until the Vikings were set up to play San Francisco for their Mexico City game.
Yeah, it's not a safe place.
But no, it's the same time zone. It is the same time zone. We aren't changing time zones for Minnesota. It is the same flight time from Minneapolis to Mexico City as it is from Minneapolis to San Francisco without a time zone change. San Francisco is the home team for that game, but they are actually getting a bit of a disadvantage. So it's not that crazy for as far as like the Mexico City games to be played. As far as locating an actual team there, I think that you are introducing a security possible problem, and I'm not trying to be fucking anti-Mexican with this. It's just there is a cartel issue. The Mexican cartel is a little bit different than the Canadian cartel. I'm sure Dave could speak to this in great length.
Dude, that Canadian cartel was trying to pump so much fucking maple syrup into the United States. It was absurd.
Yeah. So, this is this has been one of Goodell's moves and the NFL's moves for a long time. It's been a long time coming. It's only going to get more precipitous as we add more and more international games to the schedule every year. I would expect within the next 5 to 10 years that we will absolutely have an international division, if you will.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised if there's an international division, but at the same time, that's going to cause a huge travel everywhere. Like you bring up Mexico City, and I did not know that the time change didn't happen. So that is convenient. I thought about Ireland. It could maybe be a place that's close enough to host an NFL team and not have crazy travel. But honestly, if we're going to do this, why don't we just bring back like NFL Europe? We've been talking about like developmental leagues. They've been bouncing around developmental leagues. Now we have the USFL. But if the NFL wanted to branch back into the international game, they could create that same thing and treat it like a feeder league, like the USFL was trying to do. Like there is a way to do this, and they've already kind of shown the blueprint for it. You just have to get enough high quality talent that the Europeans will want to watch it like they will the NFL. Because when we take games over there, they consume the shit out of it. They love it. It's not just service members who are going to these games. There are legitimate, like, Europeans, Germans, English, fucking doesn't matter where the game is being held. People of that country want to go and watch it because the game is a really fucking cool, fun game. So
you think of it almost the same way that the World Cup was here in the U.S.
Right. Like nobody even give a shit about soccer. And then it was here. Like, damn,
it's an economic thing. Cool. You have limited opportunities for this, which makes it more impactful to go to the game. Now you add teams there, you're going to start to, make it more commonplace. I think you're still going to have a huge amount of fans. Obviously, look, we're selling out stadiums in the States pretty regularly. You're going to be able to have that for European teams as well. It is. I agree with you that I think NFL Europe and having that kind of feeder league makes a lot of sense. I don't know that they'll go that route, though. I think that they want to do a full investment into this thing. I personally would like that developmental league, but I don't know that it'll get the same sort of backing from the European fan base. I mean, initially it will, but then they'll kind of see that this is the D League. So,
which is one of the reasons that the USFL has such a hard time keeping people around, is because, listen, there's a better brand of football. It's just a few months away.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's get into some other news. Let's get into some injury news. Jordan Tyson it seemed like he was having a standout camp down there for the Saints. Goes down with a hamstring. This is something that was talked about a lot. I mean, extensively in our draft prep. Everybody that we talked to said Jordan Tyson is a dude. Love Jordan Tyson. Just can he stay healthy? What's going to happen with the legs? And here it is. Rearing its ugly head again. The Saints made, I think, a good pick, a smart investment in the wide receiver position. But did they pick the right guy at the right time? There could be some questions depending on what happens. This really sucks for Jordan Tyson. Where do you go from here? Do you think this is going to continue to be a lingering issue? Is this going to be a bust for the Saints? It's so early, but this was the talk the entire draft process with Jordan Tyson. This was his only knock. Everything else about the guy, interviews, fantastic. Tape, incredible. It's just the health.
Yeah, and with this hamstring being potentially up to a 2-month thing, according to Schefter, like it's a significant injury again. It's tough, man, because I'm a big Jordan Tyson fan, but yeah, this absolutely sucks for the Saints. It was part of why I've projected the Saints to do so well in the NFC South this year, is because you're coupling a guy with extremely high ceiling next to Olave. It's a great wide receiver core at that point if Tyson's able to hit on his projections. This is that downside, though, was the injury bug, and it's tough. Some guys are injury prone where they will have issues for a couple of years and then it goes away. Some guys will not have any issues all the way up into the NFL, and then all of a sudden it starts happening because of the level of play that they're at. It's really tough to say with him, but at this point, that label makes a lot of sense that he's injury prone. Bust, no. I can't do that yet, obviously.
Hasn't played,
because
right? We have never seen anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets out on the field at some point.
Yeah. But, at this point, it was a gamble for the Saints to take the guy, but you take a guy with that much talent for the reasons why, like that's why the gamble is okay. I mean, that is gambling. Huge payoff, or you could potentially lose it all.
Yeah. I feel terrible for Jordan Tyson. And I feel, honestly, I do feel bad for Saints fans a little bit. They didn't do anything wrong here. Like, this is a great kid. He's a great player.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get fucked.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
It's definitely not all high fives down there in Louisiana right now. Lots of issues with fives going on down there. I
was going to ask if you want. I wanted to give you a high five as the show started, but out of respect for Jayden Daniels, I decided not to.
Yeah, we really shouldn't. We don't want to receive any more negative feedback. And
dude, listen, people are already trying to get other people to sue us on YouTube comments. So
nice.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was like, please do sue us. That would be hilarious.
I would feel legitimized.
Yeah, I would welcome the court day.
Yeah, but obviously, if you haven't heard, Jayden Daniels not happy with his alma mater LSU for allowing another player to wear his former number 5 there. Jayden Daniels, to remind everybody, played college at ASU, was so transferred to LSU, won the Heisman, but led his team in 1 year to, I think it was like the Relia Quest Bowl or something like that,
they were
of which he didn't even play in. Did not play in a bowl game with LSU. Obviously had I think it was like a 10-win season, like a good season with them, good enough for him to get the Heisman. Congratulations. But he felt like that was enough where his number shouldn't be worn. Apparently there had been conversations with the staff there and they were like, oh yeah, we'll withhold your number. Well, that staff has been changed out. Mm-hmm. New staff's probably like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I looked at the numbers of guys who have actually had their numbers retired there at LSU. It's a bunch of names I don't recognize. They really haven't done it in recent memory. Joe Burrow's number has not been retired,
but they have not given that bitch out either.
Yeah.
And that was the contention, I believe.
Potentially, but also I don't know if it's LSU's not giving it out or players just aren't taking it. I'm not sure which. Doesn't really matter. What a bitch move, man. Like, what a bitch move. Are we so fucking for real right now? This is the biggest red flag you can fucking put on yourself outside of like true off the field concerns, like pulling a James Pearce. You are in the middle of training camp and you, your team, your mom, whoever decides this is the time that we start to exercise some legal action and stuff like that, saying don't use keep my fucking name out of your mouth, essentially, down there at your alma mater. That's Jayden Daniels had a phenomenal rookie season.
Yep.
Last year was meh and marred by injury. You haven't done shit in the NFL yet. Your NFL career could go absolutely down the toilet. Your legacy could be that Heisman at LSU, and you're trying to have some sort of a pissing match with the college about it. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a flying fuck. They'll just go back to like being like, look at Burrow. Look at what he did. Right? Justin Jefferson used to play here. That's pretty fucking cool. They're going to look at all their other greats who are still good and doing it in the NFL. And then if you're the Commanders, you're like, why the fuck is this at all your priority right now? In the middle of training camp, where you're coming off an injury, we're trying to put something together here, and you're worried about fucking your number in college? Worry about your number in the NFL first. And that's also part of the concern, is that this is now a guy that you have to think about. Is he really going to be concerned with his number when it comes to a new contract? Because it's the other stuff outside of football that he's more concerned with. It's to me, it's like you keep seeing this trope kind of go around on the socials. Caleb Williams is supposed to be the diva out of this class, and now Jayden Daniels is the one bitching about shit that does not fucking matter. If this is his mom pushing this, which is a lot of what people think is happening, dude, you gotta separate church and state here at some point in time. Get your family out of these decisions, because it is not helping your image. It's become a huge running joke for the past week. It blows my mind that in today's day and age, with agents and proper management companies for stars, that this shit still happens.
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything that you said. Now, Commanders fans, I think, love me after all. I've said so many nice things about Jayden Daniels and the Commanders, and where I think this team could go if he gets back to that rookie form. But god damn it, it is so hard to root for somebody that does stupid shit like this. Because you are 100% right. This does not matter at all. It is so petty. Who cares? And the idea that nobody else should be able to use my number because of a individual accolade does not speak well of a person's character, in my opinion. If you were like, yo, I want us a national title, you shouldn't let anybody wear my number. I'd be like, you know what? You were the quarterback. You did lead your team, but it's a team sport, and it's not like I would at least listen to the argument. But I want a Heisman, an individual fucking award. You should not let anybody wear my number ever on the team. Is fucking so entitled that it pisses me off. This sense of entitlement that people have is absurd.
That's a big thing for me too, man. You do not ask to have your number retired.
No, they do that for you. They decide that, not you.
Yeah, that is the most entitled bullshit ever. Does it happen? I'm sure that players go to the team all the time like, hey, that'd be cool if you retired my number, or this or that or the other. But it's like, I joke about when I die, I want a building named after me on Fort Huachuca. I'm not actually asking for that. I'm saying it jokingly. This motherfucker ain't joking. He wants a fucking library named after him, I'm sure, on LSU's campus. The Jayden Daniels Library, where he never studied. Like, that is so selfish, so self-centered, that you go to them and say you want your number retired, and because they won't capitulate, now we're going to have a bitch fit. Yeah. Which is more childish. Like, yeah. It's not a good look,
sense of entitlement, man, that really fucks me up about this, man, because I like Jayden Daniels, man. I think he's like super, super talented as a quarterback. He was incredible as a rookie, and I think that he could be really good again. I loved him in the process. This does not help you, and he is rightfully getting torched all over the internet. Mom is not helping. Everything about this situation is bad. Somebody needs to get in Jayden Daniels here. A vet in that locker room needs to come up to him and be like, yo, big dog, do you need to sit this one the fuck out with LSU and focus on the things that are important now?
You don't think his teammates are probably clowning him?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what their relationship is like. I had one thought of who I thought Jayden Daniels was based on all the things that I had seen. This kind of spins that on its head. Maybe he doesn't take very kindly to jokes either. I don't know, man. It's not a good look.
Yeah. Tough.
Well,
tough.
You know what else is tough? Playing fucking football in the AFC and the NFC North. Typically two very, very tough divisions. AFC North, smash mouth football. You get the Steelers, the Ravens, who love to beat the hell out of you. The Browns are also in that division. We show up to football games every once in a while. Punts. Yeah, listen, I get it. I get it. So far, that is what it is. He's a one-year wonder as of right now. He needs to show it again. The Bengals are also in that division. They like to score points. So they don't punt, but they don't make anybody punt either. Evo, are we ready to start diving into the AFC North predictions for this year? I would love to say that I'm very excited for my team's predictions, but I'm not.
Yeah, this is while obviously I'm sure we both enjoy talking about our teams, either lovingly or in a sad manner. We like talking about our teams. I'm almost not looking forward to going over these predictions because one, the NFC North, I know no one is going to agree with me on. It's perfectly fucking fine. But it's just like dealing with that shit. My AFC North predictions, I think, are probably close to polar opposite from most people other than biased fans and stuff like that. So that's going to just make a whole bunch of fucking hate go our way. Not that I dislike the hate. It's just like, man, here we go. I know I'm going to fucking deal with some bullshit. So let's just fucking get it over with. Look, people, again, we say this every time. When we do these predictions, we don't go into it saying that X team is going to have so many wins or so many losses, and we make sure that that is the end result. It is a week-by-week basis. You pick every single game, and what happens on the other end happens on the other end. When I got to the end of my AFC North predictions, I was surprised with how it turned out. Not what I expected at all. And so that makes it feel a little bit less realistic. But plum picks is what we do here. Authenticity is the game. We give you what we give you. And how it turns out, it could be a shitty cake or it could be a great cake. Who knows? But you're getting something at the end of this. And let us know in the comments. We know you will. How much you love it, hate it, or how much we don't know ball or all that. The one.
Sometimes it may be good. Sometimes it may be shit.
It's a fun thing to do. But all right, let's go ahead and jump into it with the AFC North. This is the wrong page. There we go.
There we go. All right, my AFC North predictions. I am a Browns fan. You can see all that shit behind me. Huge Browns fan. I do not have them having a very, very good year, and we'll talk about that as we work our way down. I do have the Ravens coming to having a bounce back year here. Listen, I think that the relationship between the quarterback and the head coach became very contentious. I think there's a reason that Harbaugh is no longer there. I still believe that Lamar Jackson is one of the most exciting players in the NFL as long as he is healthy and on the field. That team notoriously drafts well. I do not see them having another big down year. I mean, the Steelers won this division last year. I don't foresee that happening again. I think the Ravens bounce back. They win this division, and they win it kind of going away. Win it by 2 games. I got the Bengals hanging on here just at the end, but the Bengals do not make the playoffs in my predictions. They finish as the 9 seed here at 9-8. Listen, that defense is getting better. The offense is obviously very good. We know that Bengals offense is going to score some fucking points. As long as Joe Burrow the guy whose number should be retired at LSU, is out on the field. Like, if he's playing, the Bengals got a shot to score 40 plus and win the game. It's just, can that defense stop enough? I think they did a good job in the offseason attacking that defensive side, like going out, signing, a couple linebackers. They bring in Landon Robinson, who I love, late round pick, who Bengals fans already are loving it as a steal of the draft. So I expect them to be better, and it's really hard to keep down an offense that can score that many fucking points. Getting to the Steelers now, 8-9. It's Mike McCarthy, man. And it's Aaron Rodgers. It's old Aaron Rodgers. He's looked okay in camp. I don't know that he's going to be able to hold up for an entire year. Now, some things out of the young quarterbacks look good in the preseason so far. Drew Aller went out there and balled the fuck out. Looked really good. Howard out there playing pretty well too. Like, so they got guys waiting in the wings for when Aaron Rodgers is, I feel like, dying come week 12. It looks like he's throwing a medicine ball down the field. Like, they had to change their entire offense last year to almost essentially nothing but quick game. At some point, I feel like that's gonna happen again. Maybe Aaron is gonna have a bounce back, resurgent year. He's reconnected with his family. He's taking victory laps on Pat McAfee, dunking on fucking Fauci, which honestly, I don't blame him for that one at all. But I just don't think that he's the player that he used to be. I got the Steelers going 8-9, having that losing record. Mike McCarthy. This feels like tip-top Mike McCarthy. And then they got the Browns here at 6-11. And when I did these projections originally, Myles Garrett was still on this team. So 6-11 now feels a little bit like a stretch. The Browns in the preseason game were, in certain areas, much better. In other areas, I felt like we were possibly even fucking worse. We didn't really get into those games, but going back to my Browns game, Spencer Fano was a dog. Looked great at left tackle. KT Levison, who is typically a tackle, played right guard and looked like a freshman high school right guard. Was atrocious. Like, some of the worst offensive line play I've seen from a professional. It was so bad. Deshaun, at times, looked pretty good. Found guys. There were a couple of times, though, where his feet were awful and then just also completely missed wide open guys. So we're better in spots. We're not as good in others. Our depth on the defense is terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I got it at 6-11, and I would not be surprised if it were less than that. I would not be surprised at this point if we were 4-13. Feels more in our range right now. Listen, there's a lot of things still happening. Shadur is going to start this next game. Maybe they figure out this offensive line. I still don't think we have our best five. We just put Austin Barber, who was a mid-round tackle. He's going to play right guard this next game. Or he was taking snaps at right guard today in camp. So I don't think that I don't think they're going to go 6-11, even though I had them here to start with. This is because Myles Garrett was on the team at the time. I would not be surprised. Oh, man, and problematic. Hey, thank you for hopping in here. I agree, 4-13, right in that range. So, Evo, that's where I'm at on the AFC North.
All righty. Again, surprised by my predictions here. Just get that out of the way. We have nearly identical standings in the final rankings here, but I got the Ravens going 9-8, improving from last year. Right? Yeah. A lot of people have them
to the Ravens fans.
A lot of people have them as a double-digit win team, and they absolutely have that potential. When you have Lamar Jackson, there's that potential there. The fact of the matter is that they do have a first-time brand new head coach. I like Jesse Minter a lot. I think it'll be a good thing long-term. But in addition to that, you do have some significant roster turnover. I don't think that they got a whole lot better at wide receiver, which has been a concern of mine. I do really like Jacoby Lane. I do really like Elijah Surratt, but expecting 2 rookie wide receivers to boost up Zay Flowers there. And obviously you still have Rashad Bateman, but it wasn't exciting me previously. Tight end, you lose your better of the 2 tight ends, and it is Isaiah Likely, and you're going with, old man Mark Andrews. You lose your blocking tight end there. That's a downside. And then on the offensive line, you lose one of the best centers, Linderbaum. You replace him with Ethan Pocic and John Simpson. Like, I think that the offensive line is a little bit of a degradation. And part of this not going double-digit wins here is sooner or later, Derrick Henry is going to degrade.
Okay.
Maybe I'm banking on that happening a little bit more this year. I still have them going 4-2 in the division, still have them winning the division at 9-8, and still improving from last year. I think they're going to be a good scrappy team. This could easily be 3 or 4 more wins than what I have projected here. But this is what I end up coming up with on the other end. Bengals 8-9. This is kind of my sneaky team that I feel like actually could also win the division here. I do have them going 8-9. The offensive line, I think, will be average. I think the running game is actually going to be pretty solid. But of course, when we're talking about Joe Burrow, if he's able to stay healthy, which part of this is banking on the fact that he very possibly won't stay healthy, could be the best offense in the league. They have crazy firepower. Defensively, that's been the huge knock there. They bring in a good defensive coordinator last year. Things are going to slowly start to turn around. And I do think they added some pretty good pieces onto this defense. It's not going to change overnight, but when you bring in a Dexter Lawrence, that is going to make a big impact. When you bring in a Jonathan Allen, despite not being what he used to be, definitely saw that last year with the Vikings, he is still better than what they previously had there at the position. You got Boye Mafe, Cassius Howell. You brought in some guys. You're hoping that your guy in Shamar Stewart is able to develop a little bit. Thank God that he didn't actually completely tear up that knee. I still think they have a lot of questions at linebacker. Their linebacker room is not my favorite part of this team at all.
Yeah, I thought, man, they go out, they get Zion Young to help come off the edge. Like, that's something that this team has needed a lot of help with. They bring in Trey Hendrickson as well. Like, if you're talking about like off ball guys,
yeah, off ball.
Okay, sure, I understand, but I think Roquan Smith is still a very good linebacker. And where they really struggled was the fact that they couldn't get any fucking pass rush.
Yeah. And that's look, I think that the defense, they're not going to be barn burners by anything, but I think that can be middle of the pack in the league if they hit their potential. So I think that, the Bengals, they are 8-9 here. I don't feel great about that prediction. I would like that to be a little bit higher. I feel better about them, I think, than I do with the Ravens right now, which is why it's interesting to me that they come out with this 8-9 record in my predictions. Your Browns, a little bit better than what you had them at, still going 7-10. The cool part of it, and let me pull this back up here, I had your Browns starting the year off 5-0.
Well, I'm just going to look at.
I had them starting off 5-0. Now the back end of the year, not so great, but I truly do think that your team is about a quarterback away from being very competitive.
I can agree with that. Listen, our fucking wide receiver core, that young group of dudes is gonna fucking ball.
Boston
I was fucking wrong about taking those guys where we took them. I wasn't even sure I wanted them. I was fucking wrong, and I love coming on here and saying I was wrong when the player works out.
Yeah, and you guys have been doing a very good job drafting. But yeah, and I absolutely would welcome the random drug tests. Like I said, what happens happens. I am also surprised by some of these records. But look, your offensive line, questionable. I think could be better than it was last year, because last year was pretty fucking god awful.
It was terrible.
It's not that hard, but you guys are a quarterback away. If you were to get a average quarterback play from this team, I think that you guys will get this 7-10 record. I don't think that's that crazy. You guys have an extremely good defense. Now, the depth, I can't speak to that as much. Obviously, I didn't watch all of your preseason game there, but the defense is one of the better ones in the league, assuming they stay healthy.
The first unit looked pretty good.
Quinshon Judkins is a good runner.
Yeah.
Dylan Sampson hopefully takes a second-year step and is a good guy to spell things. You've got good receivers there. You got Harold Fannin. Like, you've got some intriguing options. If you get average quarterback play between the two guys that you're going to be putting out there, you could get a lot closer to a 500 record. And then the Steelers. This is the one that I think is also going to really piss people off.
I'm here for it. Sell me on the Steelers going 4-13, baby.
Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Fuck him to death. This is like, it's moon-faced Mike McCarthy, which history tells you that he's good for close to a 500 record as well. He's good for getting teams to the playoffs. So that doesn't spell it well. But I think moon-faced Mike McCarthy is shit. I think Aaron Rodgers is shit. I like them getting Rico Dowdle. That's a big move for them. But I think that they are aging in spots that I just don't think that what we saw record-wise from this team last year, which, by the way, wasn't that fucking special, 10-7. I don't like the Steelers team. I think they need a hard reset. I think they're a couple years away from being good. And part of that is the Aaron Rodgers situation. Now, Drew Aller absolutely looked good. If the reports are correct, sold out his jerseys after that first preseason game. Maybe he is the future there. Maybe it just didn't work out at Penn State. But there's no way that he's playing unless Aaron gets hurt. That is a high probability because Aaron Rodgers is old as fuck. I don't know that any sort of sock puppet voodoo witch magic from his supposed fucking fiance, wife, whatever she is going to help. I also think that reconnecting with his family is not a good thing for him because, just changing up who you are and what you do. If you've been good without them before, maybe adding them back in isn't going to help you. I don't know. It was surprising to me to see 4-13, but I don't think they're going to be great. So yeah, look, I know it. I know it's coming. Fucking come at me, bro. I don't give a fuck. This AFC North, none of the predictions make a ton of sense to me outside of your Browns. I think that your Browns, that's kind of top end potential for them to get to 7-10 or maybe an 8-9.
You have a lot more faith in the Browns than I do right now, which I appreciate. I love that you do that for me. I don't love the quarterback situation, and I don't love our line right now. I love Spencer Fano, though. Man, and I know there were conversations night of the draft. Oh, how do you feel about that? You didn't love it. He looked really fucking good in game one. So I was very happy with what I saw in that spot. But we still got a lot more work to do on the offensive line. But you know what? Since we're talking about the Browns, let's take a quick second to divert because you know what? We talked about it a little earlier. We got a documentary coming out about the Browns, Dog Pound Beyond the Stadium, something I worked on as my thesis film project at Cleveland State. So that is going to be coming out on September 3rd. But the first official trailer dropped today, which we're going to play for you guys right now. All right. Hey, I'm not muted, Evo. You are.
No, I'm not.
Not anymore. You're not. So there we go. Guys, I hope that you will check out Dog Pound Beyond the Stadium on September 3rd, 7 p.m. Eastern release time. The route there, I guess it's going to open about 5 minutes before. I will be in there talking with anybody who decides to hop in for the premiere. We can have a little chat beforehand and maybe a little bit afterward. But with that, Evo, appreciate you. Let's kick it over to the NFC North, and let's have a good time. Man, the Bears fans are gonna fucking hate me. They already hate me after all the shit I said about Caleb Williams. I'm here for it. Lions fans, I love you though. Lions, I love this team. They are gonna be very good again, man. I think Jared Goff has always kind of been the guy. Like, is he good enough? Can Jared lead his team to the promised land? And he's been close. I mean, he made it to the Super Bowl with the Rams. It was his NFC Championship or I think divisional game they made it to with the Lions, but he has never fully, I guess, hit that top potential. He's a top pick. He was kind of discarded and sent out to the Lions for Matthew Stafford. But I feel like with Jahmyr Gibbs, and I don't know that Isaiah Pacheco is a real good one-for-one swap, but that running back room is good. Amon-Ra St. Brown is an absolute jog. Jameson Williams is a guy who's starting to come into his own. And that defense, I think they're getting healthier. They're kind of, well, we're waiting for Brian Branch to get back, but I think that there's a lot of talent that's there. And they have always found ways to take guys even off the fucking street and turn them into competent guys on defense. I like this Lions team a lot. I think that they will get back to the top of this division. I got them going 13-4. I know that you hate this next one, but the Packers, listen, if they are healthy, they should be fairly decent. And that's because their defense should be pretty goddamn good as long as Micah Parsons is out there. Now, will Micah Parsons be out there? Remains to be seen. The offense has weapons. Jordan Love, for all his flaws that I think he has, one thing that he's really good at is throwing the deep ball. And he has guys that can go down and get the deep ball. Kraft will be back at some point. That will give a boost to that offense because, I mean, once Kraft went out last year, they started to struggle. I mean, he is an absolute weapon for them. So with him getting back into the lineup, I expect him to be good. And this is the question here really feels like to me is if they're healthy, this is the mark that they can hit. Moving down to your Vikings. Listen, man, I think you guys have a very good team. I checked out the first half of your guys' game. I wasn't watching after JJ left because I guess I saw a little bit of Kyler. I think he threw one fucking pass. But what I saw out of your defense was pretty goddamn impressive. You guys loaded up that double A gap look a couple times, ended up kind of showing a sim pressure, and then brought the guy off the edge that that Tyrone Tracy completely missed, and Jackson Dart got fucking murdered. So your defense is going to be very good. You're going to be dynamic. I mean, you guys are bringing sim pressures in the preseason game 1. So I expect your defense to be very good. It's the quarterback room, man. That's where my questions are. How good is Kyler going to be? And if Kyler's not very good, what is JJ going to do? JJ did not look good, I didn't think. I thought one piece of that offense that did look really good for you guys, though, was Aaron Jones. He looked explosive. He was good in pass pro. Like, he looked like a younger Aaron Jones. With the ability to keep him spelled with Mason, I think that he can be a huge part of that offense, though. And then coming down to the last team in my NFC North, I got the Bears going 5-12. That defense is very good. They're very opportunistic. They turned the Browns over several times in our preseason game. They're not going to run into that every week. And it's really hard to repeat that level of turnover margin. We've talked about this so much. Now, I didn't think that when 5-12, that was pretty low when I did the rankings. I don't have a ton of faith that defense can replicate and get that offense short fields. Caleb Williams, for all the wonderful things that he does at times, sometimes makes the really easy things seem impossible. So I could be off here, but I don't like their chances of repeating the turnover margin. So they ended up where they ended up. I wasn't planning to make them 5-12, but it is the way it is.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on making the Bears 5-12 and 0-6 in the division either, but I fucking did. That's how it turned out. Exactly the same.
Did it really?
And I'm going to just get this out of the way right now. Homer fine while I pull this up.
Okay. Well, the fact that we have the exact same fucking record for the Bears is it makes me feel a little bit better that I wasn't alone in that thought process.
Yeah, I do think the Bears are better than a 5-12 team, but I'll start from the bottom and work my way towards the top with this one. All right. So Ben Johnson is a fantastic coach. He's done wonders with that offense. And I think that is going to be a good thing overall for this Bears team. Caleb Williams hopefully makes another step, but Madden cover curse. It's lurking. It's there. All right. I'm not going to act like that's not a thing. Their defense actually isn't good. It hasn't been good. It wasn't good last year. They are just opportunistic with the turnovers. And that's, if it happens 2 years in a row, I will be very surprised. I expect a return to the mean with that. They lost a little bit of cornerback talent there. I can't remember the fucking dude's name because he was, no offense to him, this is kind of, he was a nobody that got a Nashawn Wright, I believe, and now he's on to another team again, but he got a bunch of turnovers. He's kind of a bad cornerback, but really good opportunity with the turnovers. I just don't see it happening with that defense. I do not expect the Bears to actually be 5-12. I expect them to be a lot closer to 500. They're playing the first place record. Okay. They had a lot of wins, and the whole one score win thing is kind of overblown, but they had a lot of games where they barely won the game in like fourth quarter, like late drives. So I think that we're going to see a pendulum swing the other way. The offense is the good part of this team for sure, but I don't know that they're going to have enough there to uphold that defense on a first place. Look, they got a really tough schedule with the first place schedule. It's going to be difficult. So got them going 5-12, though I don't truly expect that to happen. Now, the Packers, I do have at 9-8, an improvement from last year, so long as their dumbass head coach doesn't decide to take a meaningless tie. He has to grow a pair if you're playing Dallas, I guess. So I have them going 9-8. Look, you said stuff about Jordan Love. I do think that he's an average NFL quarterback. I think Toyotathon exists. For whatever reason, he does good in the end of the year. You just paid Christian Watson a shitload of money, but he's good for an injury. When he's on the field, like, he is very good, but he always seems to get injured. And I would be willing to bet that's going to happen again because that's just who he is. Tucker Kraft, extremely good tight end, but we are making assumptions that he's going to come back and be the same Tucker Kraft that he was prior to getting that knee fucked up. Josh Jacobs, is he going to play? Is he going to get suspended? Is he going to go to jail?
It'll be a shorter suspension than probably what James Pearce got.
Probably. But also, we don't know exactly for sure if he's not going to get some jail time or something. Also, he had some regression last year. And so he might be on the back end of being a good player. Marshawn Lloyd is an adequate back as a second running back, but he's not what Josh Jacobs was 2 years ago. So I think that we could see that offense kind of stay right around where they're at. And then the defense also is decent up front, bad in the back end. And what makes him pretty dynamic is Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is feeling like he could possibly be back by the Dallas game, but I'm not sure that he's going to play a full 8 games this year. He's coming back from a pretty significant knee injury. I've heard some rumblings of they could consider keeping Micah Parsons out all the way until the end of the year with the expectation that you put him in for a playoff run because he is a marquee player on your team. You don't want to fuck him up and have him get hurt and have this go into next year. So I think that the Packers improved from last season because they don't tie. So it makes them 9-8 instead of 9-7-1. The Lions, they have a shitload of offensive talent, no doubt. But they scare me because so much more is on Jahmyr Gibbs' plate this year, being like the premier guy. If an injury happens to him, things really start to derail because Pacheco is Isaiah Pacheco. He's okay. He doesn't do exactly what David Montgomery did. He's okay. But then things really are going to start to fall apart on this offense. I am concerned about that offensive line still, and the loss of Ben Johnson still hangs around there. We saw how huge of an impact it was last year. The Lions were last in the NFC North last year because of more bad defensive play, more defensive injuries, and not having that magic on offense with the offensive play calling. I think that they can reach this 11-6 record, but they scare me because they're like an injury or two away, or that offensive line being bad again, or offensive play calling being stale again from being really shit. And Drew Petzing doesn't excite me as that offensive coordinator. And then my Vikings, again, homer fine. I don't really give a shit. Every other year on the even years, they go double-digit wins. Last year, they had 35th best quarterback play in the NFL. Kyler Murray, while I have been extremely critical of him on this show, plays average quarterback play at his worst. You have one of the best, if not the best, receiving rooms in the NFL. You have an improved run game with Frank Smith coming in. We got to see a little bit of that wide zone being used in the preseason game, and it looked really fucking good. We have a excellent fullback now, Max Bredesen. He was laying motherfuckers out. One of my favorite all-time Vikings is Jim Kleinsaucer.
Okay, I feel that. Yeah, I can get behind some Kleinsaucer.
Bredesen is giving me Kleinsaucer vibes. And so I love having that out there. And then Brian Flores is making things happen again with the defense, just like he does every single year, where they're going to be fringe top 5 with some guys that you don't fucking know. Here's a name for you guys right now. Chuck the Prophet Demings. Pay attention to this dude. He's fucking awesome. And no one knows who the fuck he is. Look him up on YouTube. The guy is motivational as fuck. I don't think that he's ever said a single just regular statement on film. It is nothing but one-liners with this guy. And like motivational, extreme positivity one-liners. He's getting some run where he's probably going to be the third cornerback as a late round pick rookie. He's possibly going to be at James Pierre for that third spot on the starting defense. Has been fantastic entire training camp, fantastic in the preseason game. And like I said, some of the players on the team are saying that he's like a prophet, the way that he talks. Brian Flores said that he might be the glue guy for the defense, which is crazy. So Charles Demings, aka Chuck, got to pay attention to, a guy who I was high going into the draft process and even more high on now. Love the guy. So you're going to get good quarterback play, at least average. I've said it before. I don't necessarily like it, which is weird to say because I just want my Vikings to win. I think Kyler's going to be in the MVP race. This is just how it fucking happens, man, with this team. They bring in guys and they get the most out of them at quarterback. It happened with Sam Darnold. It happened with Kirk Cousins. It happened for a little while with Josh Dobbs. Now it's going to happen with fucking Kyler Murray. And everyone's going to point to the Cardinals and be like, you guys fucking suck because you had this dude playing at this level with Minnesota. Why couldn't it happen there in Arizona? It's because it's Arizona. And like I said, I don't necessarily like it because it puts us in a weird fucking spot where we're going to have to pay him a shitload of money. As far as the JJ McCarthy conversation, everyone who watches the show should know I'm a JJ fan. That preseason game, was bad. Like, it looks like his processing is the worst I have seen it. the entire time he's been with Minnesota.
He second guesses everything he does, man. He doesn't trust his eyes at all at this point.
It looks unnatural, his throwing motion now with the mechanical switch. And I think part of that is the processing being slow and not trusting what he should be doing with it. It sucks. It is what it is. I hope the best for him. But, you know, it is obviously Kyler's show right now. I think that we are going to have the best run game that Kevin O'Connell has had since he's been here. We are going to see the wide receivers do what they do. TJ Hawkinson, Juwan Jennings, Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. It's tough to beat that crew. And Kyler just has to play top 15 quarterback. And I think that we will have easily a double-digit win record, if not what I have here, 13-4 or better. Like, I know everyone is fucking, dude.
I'm chomping at the bit to get back in here. I was waiting for.
They went 9-8 last year, and you had them going 8-9. Like, they got worse somehow, but they're gonna have. Would you say that they're probably gonna have better quarterback play than they did last year?
And that's where I wanted to push back on, because you said that Kyler Murray is going to play. He's at no worst average quarterback play. And
in his entire career, he's never been less than like 15th.
He was benched for Jacoby Brissett. We can say that it was an injury. We know that was a soft benching.
Yeah.
That he was taken out as a soft benching and then hidden behind an injury for Jacoby Brissett.
I don't disagree, but they soft benched him for the draft pick. They soft benched him for the draft pick, not because it was Kyler. It's because if you put him out there, you're going to get better quarterback play. Like,
I don't know if that's the whole case. He was not playing well. I don't know that he was playing average quarterback play before all of this started to come out.
And I've been very critical for years of Kyler.
I know that's why I got to push back. Like, come on! I think we have seen him play less than average at times.
Absolutely, but that's also been on the Cardinals, where he's been surrounded by fucking ass.
That's also very true.
Like, I think that he's done his best work when he is off schedule. And Kevin O'Connell is an on-schedule guy. It is kind of like oil and water with a lot of this. But I think that he's got decent enough arm talent. He's got the mobility is a new factor that Kevin O'Connell hasn't been able to work with yet before. We got to see like three passes in the preseason game. They were all pretty solid. Like, I think that if you just get average quarterback play from him, things are going to pop. And that's the thing. On the whole, in his time in Arizona, I think he's had poor coaching. He has had poor supporting casts. He has probably felt like he's needed to work off script and be Superman, and he doesn't need to do that in Minnesota. He just needs to do what Sam Darnold did 2 years ago and get the ball to his playmakers. And that didn't happen last year with J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, okay. So that is very true. You guys did not get the ball out to your playmakers. JJ was not efficient at all. So there is a chance that just getting it out there, sure. But I think to ask him to do what Sam Darnold did would be not fair at all, because I don't think that Kyler is that type of player. Kyler is a guy that needs the boot, that needs to scramble, that wins in off-schedule plays. Sam is more of an on-script guy now that he understands the flow of the game. And Kyler's not that. So when you have KOC, who is used to these guys, or he wants these guys to operate on time, on schedule so much more, Kyler's not really that guy. So I have reservations that Kyler's all of a sudden going to be like, oh, okay, I'm just going to take a step back and just distribute to my playmakers rather than trying to do something special and take a game over himself. That's just not the type of guy that he's ever really been, going all the way back from high school to now. Like, he has been a dude that can just go and make a play around anybody he wants. So is he going to be in that right mindset that he's just a now point guard distributor type guy?
That's the thing. I think that if he he plays to the negative, what you're saying. If he plays in that negative sense, how you're playing, I think he still ends up being middle of the pack quarterback, at least 10 spots better than we had at quarterback last year. And so I still think
last year was really bad.
It was really bad, but that's the thing is like that gets you into middle range of NFL quarterbacks, and you're probably picking up a couple wins from last year. And last year they were 9-8. So that's like that's what I'm saying. It's with how the defense is and all the playmakers, you barely need anything. Like it's the same sort of situation with your Browns. You're a quarterback away. I think the Vikings offensive line is very good. I think that their running back room could be better, but they fit what Frank Smith is bringing in there now. The receiving core is fantastic. The defense, I don't even have to think about. They're just going to be good. So all we need is just a bare modicum, just a crumb of fucking quarterback play, and you're going to get a lot better returns than you had last year. That's like the Vegas odds of us being at 8.5 wins, I think is like the easiest gavel bang ever. You put it this way. If Carson Wentz were to stay healthy and play all of last year, Vikings are a playoff team. Carson Wentz fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was putting up over 300 yards a game in his 5 games he was playing with the Vikings on the aggregate. He was having multiple passing touchdowns. That's below average quarterback play that they were getting from Carson Wentz, and they probably would have been a playoff team. And I think Kyler Murray is better than Carson Wentz.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe. Listen, I didn't see much from Kyler in this last game. How many passes did Kyler throw exactly?
I think he was 2 or 3.
Okay.
And the one that was the missed was went off Aaron Jones's hands on a 3rd down in the red zone.
Because he threw the one, was it a comeback? I thought it hit the fucking ground, but they called it a catch.
To Jordan Addison.
Yeah, to Addison. I don't
and it was reviewed and upheld.
Ones,
I think it's still questionable for sure.
Yeah, I thought it hit the ground. But yeah, so listen. I will be a little shocked if Kyler comes out and balls out. I hope for you and the sake of the show that the Vikings are fucking ballers. And
this is the thing is I feel fucking stupid for this, but like I'm not worried at all about my prediction for the Vikings. Like I don't know that I felt this confident about this prediction in such a long time, which is why I've got tattoo bets out there with the Sportoxy guys of like, hey, the Vikings are going to go double-digit wins and win the division. Yeah. Like it's too fortuitous for their history of how things have gone with this team. Like, I feel like I have some sort of fucking secret script of how things are going to fucking go. But like, this literally is the trend of what happens every single time. So I don't know. It's going to be crazy.
Listen, I hope that it works out, man. Listen, I'm rooting for you because I think my team's not going to be very good. Problematic. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. But I was, when I saw this popped up, I was like, oh, damn, 13-4. Listen, and I know that you rock with your boys like every time. You don't have that. You know what? You're not like a Browns fan who's jaded, who's just like, you know what? We're probably losing today. You might even say, yeah, we're probably losing today. And you are just going to go on and be like, fuck it. Taking the Vikings. And I do appreciate that.
It is weird because the entire time that we've been doing this show, my Vikings generally just have been good. Like, yeah. You didn't get to see me in the doldrums of the Vikings where it was like we'd have 3-4 years of being dog shit and then a couple years of being good and then dog shit. I haven't been like, oh, this is always going to be our year when we're trotting out rest in peace Tavares Jackson and stuff like that. Like I'm willing to be realistic with some of this stuff. The least realistic, I guess that you could say, was last year, and it was because I had just such high lofty projections of JJ McCarthy, which obviously wrong on as of right now. I still obviously hope best for him and want the best, and I think that there's a chance, but it's probably like a 20% chance at best that he ends up working out into an average NFL quarterback. I'm holding out hope for it. I'm buying stock while it's low, but I haven't had the opportunity because my team hasn't been complete ass water for a while, so I haven't been put in your position where it's like, oh, the Browns, it's tough.
Hey. Listen, that's Browns fans are some of the most loyal motherfuckers you'll ever meet. I promise you that.
Yeah. Look, Bears fans, willing to hear your arguments. Lions fans, I'm willing to hear your arguments. Packers can suck my whole cock from the back. Don't really care. Call me a homer. Call me what you want. I don't really give a shit. Hate on me at the end of the year when I'm wrong or I'm right. Fucking, we'll see then.
Well, I'm hoping for you to be right because it'll be nice to root for one of these teams in the playoffs. Mine will not be there. Man, we're just all over on the nope.
Jesus.
Yes. Just cycle them all.
We're just going to do every single there we are.
There it is. There we go. Oh, man. Guys, thank you very much. I think we're going to wrap up the show here. We hit all of the topics we intended. Nothing crazy happened while we were doing this, right, Producer Amber? No, shaking the head. No. All right. That means we are going to get the hell out of here. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some to us, we are forever grateful. I'm going to give one last word to Evo, then we're going to get the hell out of here until next week when we figure out what the fuck it is we're talking about because we are done with the projections. All of our predictions are out. Those will be out over the next couple days. Producer Amber does a great job of getting that stuff out for you guys into segments, so it's broken down. But yeah, Evo, take it away.
With football season around the corner, it is easy for us, myself for sure, to get wrapped up into fantasy football and watching sports and stuff like that. It can be tough on spouses, significant others, your pets, family, friend. Take some time today, shout them out, go give them a hug, a kiss, a phone call, whatever, what have you, because you're going to be in the thick of it here in just a couple weeks, and you don't know when the next time you're going to see him is. So go tell him you love him. Go give him a little smoochy smooch, maybe a little booty grab, if it's consensual, and have yourself a good day.
Hell yeah. Football season's right around the corner, guys. I cannot wait for it. I appreciate you. Let's kick Steubenville's ass on Friday night. But with that, we're getting out of here. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This was Raw Dawg Sports. See you.